Hey YouTubers, Starfire here. Um, I'm doing the Legends review by myself because Raven wasn't feeling well. And I wanted to do it on my desktop because my laptop is just being really stupid and not uploading videos very well. So I thought that I would just do it on here because my desktop is awesome and it uploads really fast. And I want to get this video up as soon as possible. So yeah, it is season 3 or 4. Season 4, sorry. Season 4, episode 2, Witch Hunt. Yes. Okay. So, this episode was awesome, as always. As always, with, Legends of Tomorrow. It's pretty amazing and hilarious and funny, and there were some funny lines again, like Ray just being super, obsessed with all things pop culture. And then when the fairy godmother appeared, like, Sarah said, "What in the Disney hell is this?" It made me laugh. I'm just like, oh my god, I love you. And then, I don't know. I know I mentioned this last week, but I just really love seeing Tom Wilson on the show as Nate's dad. Because I feel like it adds that level of nostalgia that's perfect for the show. Because being a time travel adventure show, he fits into it perfectly because he was part of one of the biggest time travel movie franchises of all time. And I know that he doesn't directly have any involvement with time travel in his role on the show, but he's still on the show, which I think is really awesome. And he did find out about Nate being, a superhero this episode and the whole time travel aspect. He didn't even think that he knew about what are they called? The time people, the Bureau. His dad didn't think he even knew about the Time Bureau, and he did because he works with them closely. But yeah, so I don't know. I like him being involved. I think that it's just a lot of fun, and seeing him on the show on something that deals with those things, I think is really awesome. Excuse me. Sorry. And then just the stuff with the fairy godmother, like, it was so funny. And the crows, like, I know Raven said last week that, like, seeing those in the commercial made her think of the birds. And when I saw what they did in the episode, it legitimately made me think of the birds. I texted her and I was like, oh my gosh, the birds are coming down and attacking people. It's the birds all over again. Like, run. So yeah, I know that on here it was magic induced, but it still totally made me think of the birds. And I don't know if they were referencing that or what, but like, it was great. So, we also just get to see them go back into a time in history that was just very, very, I don't know what the word is, like, hard to watch, like, something that as a country we should not be proud of. And I know that people fear what they don't understand and, don't understand those things and everything like that. But at the same time, I don't feel like somebody needs to be burned at the stake just because you think that something that they do is worthy of that. Because nothing that a woman does, even if it's different or magical or somehow different than what you're used to, it doesn't mean that she deserves to be killed for that. And I think that's what I have the biggest issue with in terms of, like, what those men did during that time, was that they didn't even listen. Like, they didn't even listen when the women would say that they weren't a witch or say that, like, they weren't doing any of the things that they were being accused of. They just assumed if they did things or they knew stuff that they were witches and they were bad and that they needed to be burned at the stake. And, you know, they claimed that they were doing it all in the name of God. And while they probably meant well and thought that what they were doing was the right thing, it was not. So I don't like when people use things like that in religious ways to justify the fact that what they're doing is good and worthy of, their reward from God, or worthy of their, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now, but you know what I mean. Like, the fact that they think what they're doing deserves to be rewarded is just, it just bothers me so much, because, and it was the women that they did it to. It wasn't the men. The men were the ones that were mostly accusing the women of it. And there were even other women in the town and other people around there who thought that if, stuff was going on, that it was witchcraft or magic or something like that. And it's like they went along with everybody else. And it just made me sad that, like, back then they didn't really have a voice and they didn't really have a way to express themselves that showed who they were. It was all about the men and what they said and things like that. So, I mean, seeing those things happen was hard to watch, because it was a time in our history that was, that was not pretty. And I'm glad that the woman's daughter, Prudence, was, had her fairy godmother do the things she did, like stopping Izzy from being burned at the stake along with Prudence's mother. And then Sarah came in and kicked ass like she always does. And then, of course, the fairy godmother being like, no, you have to do these things. And Izzy was like, but would your mother want that? Like, would she be happy with you doing that? Or would she just ask you to forgive them because they know not what they do? And her mother would tell her that, because that's what she believed. So I love that Izzy kind of had that motherly moment, because I know that she's struggling a lot and she's having a hard time with a lot of stuff right now personally, with, like, seeing her mom and things like that. So the fact that she kind of got to have that moment, I think, was, like, good for her. And I'm so glad that she was able to get the amulet back, because, that's the source of the powers that she has. And, without that, they're pretty much screwed. So, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I love when we get to see those moments of vulnerability along with, like, the humor, because Legends is just one of those shows, like we said last week. It's fun and it's enjoyable to watch, and it makes you laugh, and you look forward to it every week. But it also is very genuine and real, and it gets down to the heart of people and emotions and relationships and everything. And I love that they always try to figure out everything together as a family, because they truly are a family. They're a family of outcasts and misfits and unique individuals who all have their own abilities, but they're able to get along with each other and be around each other and work together as a team, and, go on adventures and save the world. And, like, I mean, why wouldn't people enjoy that? So, I love that when Sarah was talking to her and she said that, we can figure this out together because we're family. Because Sarah knows, she's been there. She's been in that situation where, she's had all this pent up anger and, she let it out, and she's just trying to tell Izzy that, you know, you need to just not keep it pent up all the time because it's just going to make things worse for you. So, I don't know. I love those moments that are kind of in there, you know, with the humor. And, you know, I feel like in a lot of ways, and I'm not saying the other shows aren't relatable, but I feel like in a lot of ways, Legends is probably one of the more relatable shows of the superhero shows, just because of those things. I mean, of course, The Flash is very relatable too, and Supergirl. The Supergirl, I feel, is very relevant to what is currently happening in our society. I feel like that's the show that really deals with those issues. The Flash is more, you know, within their own group and their own team Flash. Legends is like, because it's time travel and they're going to different time periods and saving the world, like you get to see the different emotions and thoughts and the way people did things and, you know, why things are how they are. And I mean, yeah, of course there's an element of magic, or there's an element of something that might be a little bit different than how we know it or we've seen it, but it's still relatable and realistic and relevant. And like, I appreciate that about Legends. So, yeah. Let me think. Oh, when Ray and Mick turned into pigs. That was funny. And then when she got the amulet back and fixed everything, they became human again. Like, that was pretty funny. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I feel like I kind of covered everything. I mean, it was a great episode and I enjoyed it, and I'm not really sure where they're going next week, but it looks interesting, so I guess we'll see. I just like that this dealt with, you know, I mean, of course it was going to deal with witch stuff because it's the week of Halloween. And a lot of the episodes of TV shows are doing Halloween themed episodes. So it's appropriate. But like I said, whenever I see things like that with like the Salem, you know, witch trials and everything, and just the burning at the stake, it makes me sad and it makes me angry. But again, I understand why they felt the way they did, but that doesn't mean that they had to commit those acts and that they had to treat the women that way. Because even if you don't understand it, and even if it makes you afraid, like, it doesn't always mean that it's bad. You can educate yourself, you can read books about it, you can find those things out. And I know back then a lot of people just kind of had to follow a certain code and a certain rules, and the men were the ones who were the knowledgeable ones, and women didn't have a voice. And if they were practicing or they were doing anything, and I mean, Prudence's mom wasn't even like doing anything wrong, and they just said she was a witch. Like, they didn't even listen to her. And, you know, I don't know. Just, yeah. But, anyway, let me know what you guys think of the episode. If you agree about some of those things that I said regarding witches and the witch trials, and how things were handled. And just in general, just your thoughts in general about the show. I mean, do you enjoy it? Like, do you think the season's great so far? I mean, we've only had 2 episodes, but I think that it's just getting better each season, honestly. Like, I really do. I feel like it's really hit its stride, and it's just a really, really great show right now. So, yeah. All right. Well, if there's anything that I missed or anything that you wanted me to mention, you can tell me in the comments or you can tell me on Twitter. And yeah, hopefully Raven is feeling better or feeling well enough tomorrow to do the Flash review and Black Lightning. If she is, then you will see us tomorrow for those 2 reviews. And yeah. I'm working on getting the Supergirl review up from last night. Again, I tried to upload it last night, but my laptop is just not cooperating when it comes to uploading Supergirl. So I have to move it over to my desktop and upload it. But that should be up shortly, as well as this review. So yeah, tomorrow you have the Flash and Black Lightning to look forward to. And I know that I haven't done Supernatural for like, what? Did I do last week's? No, I didn't do last week's, but the week before I think I did. Anyway, I know that I didn't do last week's episode of Supernatural, but I'll try to get better at doing that. I don't know why, but Thursday just seems to be a busy day for me. But if I'm able to watch it when it's on this week, I will. So, anyway, those are things you have to look forward to this week, and it's only 2 days until Halloween. 1 day if you're on the East Coast. But yeah, we will see you tomorrow. So I can't remember what the closing was. I think it was something about, until next time, keep learning to love yourself and be happy with who you are. I think that's what it is. Bye.